Hi, movies for 2024. Just a second. Yeah. Yeah, movies for 2024, or my favourite movies for 2024. Those I've got to the cinema to take a look at. Yeah, there's been a few more than I thought for the year. There were 8 in total. I'm assuming I'm going to do these quite quickly because one or two of them did stand out the most. And just a second. Yeah. And yeah, they were quite amazing and do stand out. Started with Night Swim, Blumhouse, Jason Blum, which was pretty good. Yeah, well, pretty good, more than pretty good. I did like it a lot. And that was a really decent supernatural horror. And I'm still waiting for the Blu-ray. So I did order that. I didn't pre-order it. I ordered it a long while afterwards because I wanted to wait till the price had gone down. The US edition. After that one came, of course, came Imaginary. I think that was Blumhouse as well. I can't remember. But yeah, and I loved Imaginary. Just a second. Yep. Yeah. Sorry, like I said, my camera is still going. Yeah. Loved Imaginary. Yeah, it was a really great plot. I thought it was really well done. Loved it. And so yeah, there was that one. And I'm also still waiting for the Blu-ray order I have done of that. Both US editions, which I'm still waiting for. And well, I'm hoping they turn up soon, although it's taken a damn long time. So those are the two that started off. Yeah. Then along came another one which I didn't even know about, and it was from M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, Ishana. I think the name. Yeah, Ishana Night Shyamalan. The Watched. Did like it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. Had its moments. It was spooky enough. It was a decent storyline. Yeah, it was another kind of fairy tale fantasy kind of thing. But I wouldn't get it on Blu-ray, I don't think. Maybe at some point I might change my mind and get it. But it's not urgent, so I wouldn't want that on Blu-ray immediately, you know. But yeah, really liked it. And I think it was not long after that. Now, this one, well, this one was a pain in the butt. I just had a hunch that we wouldn't get this in Bedford, and we didn't. But then along comes a certain special week. Gay Pride Week came along. The movie I'm talking about is Love Lies Bleeding. Someone I know got it for me. You know, they just got it for me, and they got a digital copy for me, so I was able to look at it. But then Gay Pride Week came along, and because of that, Bedford did show it, although it was a month later. But at least they showed it, so that was a relief. And it's like, oh wow, you know, brilliant. But yeah, at least they did actually show it. Although if they hadn't have done, they would have owed me one, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I looked at Love Lies Bleeding, but of course I was able to look at the digital edition first, that a friend of mine got me. And I absolutely loved it. For me, it was my favourite movie of the year up to that point. And I just knew it would not be bettered. Yeah, I knew nothing would be better than it. And it turns out that I was almost right. I loved its setting. I loved the story, I loved the style, I loved everything about it. It just shined to me, and it was the standout movie up to that point. It just stood head and shoulders above everything else. I looked at the trailer, and I thought, well, I've got to look at that, but will we get it? Then, of course, I got the, it didn't come here. Then I looked at the, I got a chance to look at the digital copy, and I thought, yeah, well, at last I can look at it, yes. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. The trailer is brilliant. And why don't they ever include trailers on the DVDs and Blu-rays of these movies? Ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, Love Lies Bleeding, the outstanding movie of the year up to that point, without a doubt. After that, oh yeah, and with Love Lies Bleeding, I did actually manage to get a copy. I didn't think it would be released on Blu-ray, but it was. So I was able to get it as well. Yeah, then after that came Inside Out 2, which I also have. A sequel to a really decent, rather little known movie, I think. I don't think Inside Out is very well known. Certainly not as much as Toy Story, that's for sure. But yeah, I absolutely love the sequel. So that was another great one to check out. And yeah, I did love it. I was definitely going to get that on Blu-ray as well. So Inside Out 2, brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Mostly centered around anxiety. And let's face it, when you grow up, after you're a kid, when you grow up, anxiety plays a pretty big part in your life, doesn't it? For many, for most, I would say. A very worthwhile thing to focus on for the sequel. So yeah, there was that. Oh yes, and beg your pardon, hold on. Yeah, and sorry about keep doing that, but I can't help it. But yeah, then along comes an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I turned down one before. I turned down Knock at the Cabin. And I didn't want to turn down, and I just turned down Knock at the Cabin. I didn't like the sound of the plot. I wasn't a fan of the plot, so I didn't bother. I turned it down. And that was that. Not the first M. Night Shyamalan movie I've turned down, but there you go. I didn't really want to turn down the second one on the trot. But maybe I should have done. Along comes Trap. And I went to see it. Now I went of my own volition, I went, it was my choice to go and see it. But frankly, well, I don't regret going to see it, at least I gave it a chance. But I'm afraid, and I'm really sorry to say, that it's the first M. Night Shyamalan movie that I've gone to see, which I hated. But again, partly my fault, I'm the one who chose to go and see it. But again, yeah, once again, I don't regret it. At least I gave it a chance. But personally, yeah, I hated it. I couldn't wait to get out. I thought, you know, is this finishing yet? It was just so annoying, and it was like, come on, get on with it. But anyway, I'm not going to go into anything about what I thought of it. No. Trap, no. For me, it was terrible. I hated it. So it's the one misfire, sadly, for the year. So, yeah, and again, I get no pleasure out of saying that, but there you go. And oh yes, the next one. Well, I'd heard about this. I'd seen the trailer, and I'd seen the main trailer, the teaser trailer and the main trailer. And I looked at them, and I thought, well, we could have something here. Alien Romulus. I've done another video about this, so there's not really much else to say that I haven't said on that. But yeah, I went to see Alien Romulus, and I absolutely loved it. No Ripley. I do not like the character of Ripley, which I've said in the other video. But hey, that's just me, you know. I don't like her. I never did. But this was Cailee Spaeny in the lead. She was brilliant, and everything about Alien Romulus I absolutely loved. Pure science fiction for me. Set in space. I loved the mood. I loved the atmosphere. I loved everything about it. And of course, with it, they went back to basics, which they haven't done for the previous few movies, although I haven't even seen them because I just haven't bothered checking them out. I'm not a fan. I mean, I've got Alien and I've got Aliens on Blu-ray. But for me personally, Alien Romulus, and I've said this on the other video as well, for me, is better than both of them. It all comes down to what I prefer watching. Alien, Aliens, or Alien Romulus. And I would choose Alien Romulus every time. So, that is the other outstanding movie of the year. And got a copy too, the US edition. Apparently they weren't going to release it at the cinema, they were just going to release it, stream it kind of thing. And I'm so glad they didn't. I'm getting so sick of all these movies that they possibly only will stream. You know, some of us want to see these movies at the cinema still. You know? So, well, I'm glad they did anyway. At least it wasn't a selected cinemas like with Love Lies Bleeding. But yeah, so Alien Romulus, the other outstanding movie of the year, and boy does it stand out. It just seems as if this year, like I mentioned before, two movies stood out a mile because they were so poles apart, so different from each other, but they just stood out, and they for me are equal best movies of the year. So both Love Lies Bleeding and Alien Romulus are the equal best movies of the year for me. So that is definitely where they stand. So yeah, especially with Love Lies Bleeding. That kind of style of movie, it almost felt like it was made in the 80s, which is really strange. You certainly don't get that style of movie, or that kind of movie, very often. In fact, that's rare. There was just such a different feel about it. And I love the fact it was set in the late 80s, 89. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for movies of the year. The last one I saw was Paddington in Peru, in Glasgow, and I was up there for my birthday. It was alright, but not brilliant. I still prefer the original. I've got Paddington 2, but, well, that's okay, has its moments, but I rarely watch it, to be honest. And I certainly don't get a kick out of watching Hugh Grant. Hey, that's me, right? So don't jump on the bandwagon and start saying all kinds of things against that. That's just me, okay? But anyway, yeah, Paddington in Peru, it was alright, but I wouldn't get a copy. No, I'll stick with the original. I think it's the best one. But that was pretty much it, yeah, for the year. So 8 movies, 2 stand out a mile. They just shined above everything else, and everything else is pretty good. And I'm still waiting on 2. They still haven't come yet, but I'm hoping they will soon. So a crazy year for movies, really. But there may be more to come, but I'm not sure that many others will be like Love Lies Bleeding, and certainly many others will not be like Alien Romulus. So relish them while I've got them, and now that they're here. So anyway, yeah, thanks very much. Cheers, bye.